Today in sports news, the Sydney Swans with their second win in over 30 games. And Euphoria wins the Champagne Stakes at Randwick. Good afternoon, I'm Bridget Tilley. To Super 10 rugby first of all, and there were two matches played in New Zealand today, with Queensland taking an unexpected loss at the hands of Otago. It was two tries apiece, but a 6-point win for the home side, while Western Samoa had a comfortable victory over Waikato, 32-16.
A firm Carisbrook pitch and a cool but sunny day is about as good as it gets in Dunedin. And Queensland made a bright start through the new kicking boot of back rower John Eales.
Hit it pretty well. Oh, what a good kick, John Eales.
Otago then dominated the next half hour, converting pressure into points, 4 penalty goals, a 12-6 lead, but no tries. An error-prone Queensland presented Otago with their first 5-pointer in the opening minute of the second half. Paul Cook quick to swoop and salute the crowd.
Chased by lead, Paul Cook.
Down 19-6, Queensland made another costly mistake. Wallaby winger Barry Lee the culprit.
And Lee has bombed a try. He knocked it on.
The visitors looked buried when Andre Bell charged down the Peter Slattery attempted clearance.
Try the bell, yes.
The Queensland forwards, though, found momentum when Ili Tabua came on. A good result from the rolling maul. Garrick Morgan, the successful man at the bottom of the heap, 24-11.
Super try.
Queensland then pushed themselves to just a 6-point deficit, the referee awarding them a penalty try as the maroon scrum crossed the line.
A penalty try.
But Otago held on to record their first win in Super 10 rugby, 24-18.
Yes, Steve Rebellion with that report. To basketball now, and 2 matches in the NBL last night. The Canberra Cannons too good for Townsville at the Palace, 126-101, while in Sydney the Kings 4-point winners over the Gold Coast. Bob Turner's got a big job to recover from the 1993 season, but Sydney was favourite for this match with last week's great win over the Magic under their belts. But the Coast piled on the pressure in the first half, their full-court defence hassling the Kings into sloppy play and costly turnovers.
Lafleur, and he doesn't miss those.
The Kings held on at half-time for a 42-40 lead and got it together from there. Guard Greg Hubbard was one of Sydney's best, hitting 24, including this great three-pointer.
And makes it.
Former King Peter Hill bagged 12 for the Rollers, but a coastal drought in the last quarter, plus a crucial three-pointer by new Sydney co-captain Mark Dalton, gave it to the Kings. Final score, Sydney 90, Gold Coast 86. And in the Women's National League last night, Melbourne upset the reigning premiers, the Sydney Flames, 62-55. In the other match, Brisbane 85 over Canberra 73. Well, racing today was at Randwick, the final meeting in the Autumn Carnival. The St Leger Stakes first up, Paris Fire, the favourite.
Approach the cutaway rail, and Gold Sovereign at the moment is full of running. Leads by 4 lengths or so. Running into second now, Royal Tiara. Behind these, Zaremba, Paris Fire and Lord Rami. But Gold Sovereign's well clear. They come towards the 150. Gold Sovereign in front. The only danger is Royal Tiara. It's Gold Sovereign in front. There's no danger. And Gavin Eads, another outstanding ride. And Gavin Eads is out, ridden them again, and Gold Sovereign races away. Gold Sovereign wins the St Leger, wins it easily. Royal Tiara second, then Zaremba, Paris.
Yes, Gavin Eads yet again. Gold Sovereign at 15-1, Royal Tiara 8s, and Zaremba at 5-1. Paris Fire, the unplaced favourite. $250,000 on offer in the feature event on the card, the Champagne Stakes.
And it's starting to threaten some danger as they come round the turn into the straight. Alouette drifted wide, and Euphoria, the stablemates, got up on the inside. Warning siren starting to come home quickly along the fence, and down the outside here comes Blevick, and Blevick has raced up on the outside. Mr Vitality coming with Blevick, also battling on reasonably well as Euphoria. It's Euphoria and Blevick, and Talagar coming from a long way back as well, and Mr Vitality getting another go on late. Euphoria's hit the lead with 50 metres to go, and Euphoria takes the Champagne. Talagar's claimed second from Blevick.
Euphoria certainly for the connections at 50-1. Talaga second and Blevick third at 15-4. Mr Vitality was the unplaced favourite there. Well, the West won a taste of rugby league last night. Balmain and Penrith travelling to the Wacker for the first match in round 6. Soul-searching time for the Tigers, going down to the Panthers, 24-0.
It wasn't a great night for the Tigers, under strength and up against Penrith. Danny Farah setting up the first of a double for Matt Singh.
And Matthew Singh goes for the corner, and there's the first try.
Balmain managed to find some space, but Graham Mackay was everywhere.
Here's Mackay now.
A penalty goal to the Panthers winger after 26 saw it 6-0, and that's how it stayed until the break. The same old story for the Tigers in the second half, though. Shoddy defence saw Brad Fittler in, followed by this try from Steve Carter for 14-0.
Oh, he's going himself and pulled down. Metzing was with him. Carter goes on with it. Carter gets the try.
In a man-of-the-match display, Mackay sent out a message to the Blue selectors he's available for the State of Origin series.
Over another. Tries to beat another.
The Panthers running in 5 tries to sneak into the 5, the Tigers now having conceded 110 points in their last 3 outings.
And he'll put the hand out and say, thank you, Jason Litt.
And today's league match was the showdown between ladder leaders, the North Sydney Bears, and reigning premiers, the Brisbane Broncos. For his report on the game, it's over to Warren Boland in Brisbane.
Thanks, Bridget. Well, North Sydney are still undefeated. They've now moved up to 12.6 wins out of 6. Brisbane, on the other hand, are back on 5 points, well outside the top 5 today. North Sydney defeated Brisbane 11 points to 10. It was 2 tries apiece. Tries for Brisbane to Langer and O'Neill. Madison kicking 1 from 2. Brisbane scoring tries in the second half. But in the first half, Hoppy and Fairley scored for Norths. Taylor kicked 1 from 2 and a vital field goal from Jason Taylor. The first try of the match was scored by Sean Hoppy. Let's take a look. Now he's going to play something like 79 minutes again. Walters loses it, trying to slip the pass away, and North Sydney have got it. So, and away they go too. Hoppy breaks loose. Downfield he goes. Sean Hoppy racing away, and he's caught everybody napping. A mistake by Brisbane and a missed tackle that should have been made by Steve Renouf, and Sean Hoppy raced away. Later in the game, the field goal proved to be decisive. It was 10 points to 4. Jason Taylor made it 11 points to 4, and Brisbane couldn't catch up. 11-10 to the Bears today.
Thanks, Warren. Well, there were smiles on the faces of 10,000 fans at the SCG last night. The Sydney Swans with a 14-point win over Richmond. The Swans 11-20-86 to the Tigers 10-12-72.
AFL graced the SCG last night, though fans were served up a less than attractive game of footy. The Tigers were a little more accurate with the boot in the opening 2 terms, kicking 6-4 to the Swans 3-10 to lead by 12 at the major break.
Very good kick, and this is no exception. It's a goal.
Simon Mitton-Connell bagged 6 goals for the Swans.
Could be his success rate in the second half. He stamped it through.
He could have had more, though, but failed to convert some absolute sitters.
This to put Sydney in front, and Mitton-Connell goes bang and puts it. Missed. Can't believe it. I can.
Sydney led by 1 at 3/4 time. A few words from Ron Barassi seemed to do the job. It wasn't pretty. The Swans won the game, kicking 5-2 in the last for their second victory in 38 games.
Is it too fast a goal anyway? Great scenes here in Sydney. This is going to do plenty for them in 1994.
And today's AFL match of the day saw reigning premiers Essendon, I should say, up against Melbourne.
An even contest with strong defence from both sides saw Melbourne fight for a narrow lead in the early stages of this low-scoring first term. Essendon soon steadied. 2 goals from Darren Buick, including this free kick, saw the Bombers take a 3-point lead at quarter time. Melbourne found their winning form in the second term.
Pass from Doyle. Where's Jakovic? Mark is there.
Alan Jakovic made good use of the ball, and the Demons pulled away. Essendon down, but not out, maintained their defence, and a late goal saw the Bombers trailing by 9 points at half-time. There was absolutely nothing in it early in the third. The Bombers came alive, bringing it to 4 points the margin. But Jakovic was firing, and the Demons looked set to take it away.
From the boundary line, Alan Jakovic has kicked the ripper, and boy is he happy.
Yes, Melbourne 12-12-84 over Essendon 9-12-66. Hawthorn crushed by Carlton, and North Melbourne over Footscray. Well, 3 times world champion Ayrton Senna has taken pole position for tomorrow's Pacific Formula One Grand Prix in Japan. The spectacular circuit, carved into the Aida mountainside, was enjoying unseasonably warm weather, but Senna set his hottest time the day before. His 1 minute 10.218 standing unchallenged. His Williams Renault quickest by just over 0.2 of a second, although he clearly pushed it hard. Michael Schumacher of Germany in a Benetton will sit behind him on the front row, having won the season opener in Brazil, but he failed to impress in this session. Briton Damon Hill in the second of the Williams will support centre from third position, and with him on the second row, Mika Häkkinen of Finland, who had a dusty practice. Eric Comus came close to disaster, but even he was saved by the kitty litter. To cricket now, and New Zealand has got off to a steady start in its one-day match against Australia in Sharjah. A short time ago, New Zealand was 2 for 77 after 18 overs. Meanwhile, Pakistan has scored an emphatic win over arch rivals India in the tournament. The reigning World Cup champions cruised to a 6-wicket win in the 45th over. Well, the great white shark Greg Norman is 2 shots off the lead after the second round of the Heritage Classic in South Carolina. A course record 61 moves South African David Frost into the outright lead. Australians Ian Baker Finch and Brett Ogle are 10 and 11 shots respectively behind Frost. Well, soccer's World Cup is forcing some of America's big stadiums to take a step back in time. Venues for the Cup are busy laying real turf to replace the artificial variety, which is standard fare in the US. However, once the World Cup circus moves on, the real stuff will be dug up and the AstroTurf will be dusted off, ready for the kind of football that Americans are more familiar with. And finally, former Olympic and world ice skating champion John Curry has died in Britain of an AIDS-related illness. Curry, aged 44, was recognised for changing the face of skating with his innovative routine at the 1976 Innsbruck Winter Games. That year saw him add the British, European and world titles to his Olympic gold medal. Well, that's all from Sports News for now, but stay with us as we continue sports action with Karen Tighe.
Thanks, Bridget. Now a look at what's on ABC Sport this week. Tomorrow morning at 10, highlights of today's rugby league match between Brisbane and North Sydney. On Monday night at 11:05, English soccer continues. The feature matches between Southampton and Blackburn, and Wimbledon playing Manchester United. Same time Tuesday night, American college basketball with Don Lane. Massachusetts versus Cincinnati there. And on Thursday night at the same time, Goal Attack continues with highlights of the Super League matchup between Sydney AIS and Brisbane. And if you like gymnastics, remember to keep Friday night free. 2 hours of live coverage from the World Championships in Brisbane starting at 8:30, and then we're back on Sunday afternoon for 3 hours from 4 o'clock. Hope you can join us for that. To netball now.